this, but I was planning on doing it, but like I said, with a lot of these things, I have to get reminded, I forget, or whatever. Back with another Goosebumps reading video today of the headless ghost. I can't remember what's going on. I know the two friends are in that house that they go to. It's like a haunted house. They do tours, and then stuff's happening and shit now, and they're stuck. I'm pretty sure I'm on chapter 23. I may go up to 29 today, but then finish it. I don't have time to go through chapters. I don't want to go too long. I'm feeling so great at the moment, so I don't want to go too long on the vid. But anyway. Seth gave the tug. Seth gave the door a tug and it creaked open. God, I'm off to a good start. We slipped inside into total blackness, too dark to see where we were. Took a few steps into the room and bumped into Seth. Shh, he warned. Manny the night watchman is posted in the front room. He's probably asleep already. Alright, that's right, they met another person. They got out, and they met another person. That's probably a ghost that said, oh, let's go back the next night. So they're going back the next night. Where are we? I whispered. In one of the back rooms, Seth whispered. Wait a few seconds. Our eyes will adjust. Can we turn on a light? I asked. Ghosts won't come out in the light. Seth replied. We had closed the door behind us, but a cold wind still blew at my back. I shivered. A soft rattling sound made my breath catch in my throat. Was I starting to hear things? I pulled off my hood to hear better. Silence now. I think I know where I can find some candles, Seth whispered. You two wait here. Don't move. Don't worry, I stammered. I didn't plan to go anywhere until I could see. I heard Seth move away, making soft scraping footsteps over the floor, keeping as quiet as he could. His footsteps faded into silence. Then I felt another rush of cold wind against the back of my neck. Oh! I cried out when I heard the rattling again. A gentle rattling, like the rattling of bones. Let me see if I can... I should have moved the mic. Mic's in a bad position. Oh, man. Another cold gust of wind swept over me. Cold breath, I thought. My whole body shook as a chill ran down my back. I heard the rattling bones again, louder, a clattering sound, so close. I reached out into the thick blackness, tried to grab onto a wall or a table or anything. But my hands grabbed only air. I swallowed hard. Calm down, Dwayne. I ordered myself. Seth will be back in a moment with some candles. Then you'll see that everything is okay. But another jangle and clatter of bones made me gasp. Steph, did you hear that? I whispered. No reply. A cold wind tinkled my neck. The bones rattled again. Steph, do you hear that noise too? Steph. No reply. Stephanie. Steph, I called. She was gone. Chapter 24. Panic time. My breaths came short and fast. My heart clattered louder than skeleton bones. My whole body began to shake. Stephanie, Steph, where are you? I choked out weakly. Then I saw the two yellow eyes moving towards me, two glowing eyes floating, silently gleaming with evil, coming nearer. I froze. I couldn't move. I couldn't see anything but those two gleaming yellow eyes. Oh! I uttered a moan as they floated closer, and I could see them more clearly, see that they were candle flames. Two candle flames moving side by side. In the soft yellow light, I saw Seth's face and Stephanie's. They each carried a lighted candle in front of them. Stephanie, where were you? I cried in a choked whisper. I thought... I went with Seth, she replied calmly. The orange glow from her candle washed over me. Guess Stephanie could see how panicked I was. I'm sorry, Dwayne, she said softly. I said I was going with Seth, but I said I was going with Seth. Seth. I thought you heard me. Something is rattling, I stammered. Bones, I think. I keep feeling a cold wind. I keep hearing. Seth handed me a candle, lighted. He instructed, we'll look around, see what's rattling. Took the candle and raised it to his, but my hand was shaking so badly it took me 5 tries to light the wick. Finally, the candle flamed to life. I gazed around in the flickering orange light. Hey, we're in the kitchen, Stephanie whispered. A gust of cold wind blew past me. Did you feel that? I cried. Seth pointed his candle flame toward the kitchen window. Look, Dwayne, that window pane. It's missing. The cold air is blowing in through the hole. Oh, right. Another blast of air, and then the rattling. Did you hear it? I demanded. Stephanie giggled. She pointed to the kitchen wall in the dim light. I saw big pots and pans hanging on the wall. The wind is making them rattle, Stephanie explained. Ha ha. I heard a feeble laugh. I knew that. I was just trying to scare you. I lied. Give you a thrill. I felt like a total jerk. But why should I admit that a bunch of pots on the wall nearly had me scared out of my skin? Okay, no more jokes, Stephanie insisted, turning to Seth. We want to see a real ghost. Follow me. I'll show you something that Otto told me about, Seth whispered. Holding the candle in front of him, he led the way across the kitchen to the wall beside the stove. He lowered his candle in front of the cabinet door. Then he pulled open the cabinet door and moved the candle closer so we could see inside. Why are you showing us a kitchen cabinet? I demanded. What's so scary about that? It's not a cabinet, Seth replied. It's a dumbwaiter. Watch. He reached inside and pulled a rope beside the cabinet shelf. The shelf began to slide up. He raised the shelf, then lowered it. See? This dumbwaiter is like a little elevator. It was used to send food from the kitchen to the master bedroom upstairs. You meet for midnight snacks, I joked. Seth nodded. The cook would put the food on the shelf. Then he would pull the rope, and the shelf would carry it upstairs. Thrills and chills, I said sarcastically. Yeah, why are you showing it to us? Stephanie demanded. Seth brought the candle up close to his face. Laptop's making noise. Otto told me that this dumbwaiter is haunted. 120 years ago, things suddenly started to go wrong with it. Stephanie and I moved closer. I lowered my candle and examined the dumbwaiter cabinet. What went wrong? I asked. Well, Seth began softly. The cook would put food on the shelf and send it upstairs. But when the shelf reached the bedroom up there, the food was gone. Stephanie narrowed her eyes at Seth. It disappeared between the first and second floor. Seth nodded solemnly. His gray eyes glowed in the soft candlelight. This happened several times when the shelf reached the second floor. It was empty. The food had vanished. Wow, I murmured. The cook had become very frightened. Seth continued. He was afraid that the dumbwaiter had become haunted. He decided to stop using it, and he ordered everyone on his staff to never use the dumbwaiter again. And that's the end of the story, I asked. Seth shook his head, and then something horrible happened. Stephanie's mouth dropped open. What happened? Some kids were visiting the house. One of them was a boy named Jeremy. Jeremy was a real show-off and very athletic. When he saw the dumbwaiter, he decided it would be fun to ride to the second floor. Oh, wow, Stephanie murmured. I felt a chill. I could guess what was coming. So Jeremy squeezed onto the shelf, and one of the other kids pulled the rope. Suddenly, the rope caught. The kid couldn't get it to move up or down. Jeremy was stuck somewhere between the floors. The other kids called out to him, "Are you okay, Jeremy?" But Jeremy didn't reply. They started to get very worried. They tugged and tugged, but they couldn't move the rope. Then suddenly the shelf came crashing back down. And was Jeremy on it? I asked eagerly. Seth shook his head. There were 3 covered bowls on the shelf. The kids lifted the lid of the first bowl. Inside was Jeremy's heart still beating. They opened the second bowl. Inside were Jeremy's eyes still staring in horror. And they opened the third bowl and saw Jeremy's teeth still chattering. The 3 of us sat down in the orange glow of candlelight. We stared at the dumbwaiter shelf. I shivered. The pots rattled against the wall, but I was no longer frightened by them. I raised my eyes to Seth. Do you think that story is true? Stephanie laughed, nervous laughter. It can't be true, she said. Seth's face remained solemn. Do you believe any of Otto's stories? He asked me quietly. Well, yes. No, some. I couldn't decide. gotta swear his story is true, Seth insisted. But of course, he may just be doing his job. His job is to make this house as scary as possible. Ah, that was a great storyteller, Stephanie murmured. But enough stories. I want to see a real ghost. Follow me, Seth replied, his candle flame dipped low as he spun around. He led us back through the kitchen into a long, narrow room at the back. This is the old butler's pantry, he announced. All the food for the house was stored in here. Stephanie and I stepped past him, raising our candles to see the room better. When I turned around, Seth was closing the pantry door behind us. Then I saw him turn the lock. Hey, what are you doing? I cried. Why are you locking us in here? Stephanie demanded. I dropped my candle and bounced on the hard floor, and the flame went out. The candle ran under a shelf. When I glanced back up, Stephanie was storming towards Seth. Seth, what are you doing? She demanded angrily. Unlock that door. This isn't funny. I gazed around the long, narrow room. Shelves from floor to ceiling on 3 walls, no windows, and no other door to escape through. With a sharp cry, Stephanie grabbed for the door handle, but Seth moved quickly to block her. Hey, I cried, my heart pounding. I stepped up beside Stephanie. What's the big idea, Seth? What's the big idea? His silvery eyes glowed with excitement behind his candle flame. He stared back at us without speaking. The same cold stare I'd seen on his face the night before. Stephanie and I took a step back, huddling close together. Sorry, guys, but I played a little trick on you, he said finally. Excuse me, Stephanie cried, more angry than frightened. What kind of trick, I asked. He pushed back his long blonde hair with his free hand. The flickering candles sent shadows dancing across his face. My name isn't Seth, he said softly. So softly I could barely hear him. But, I stammered. My name is Andrew, he said. Stephanie and I both cried out in surprise by Andrew's name. Of the ghost. Stephanie protested, the ghost who had lost his head. I am the ghost, he said softly. A dry laugh escaped his lips. More like a cough than a laugh. I promised you a real ghost tonight. Well, here I am. He blew out the candle. He appeared to vanish with the light. But Seth, Stephanie started. Andrew, he corrected her. My name is Andrew. My name has been Andrew for more than 100 years. Let us out of here, I pleaded. We won't tell anyone we saw it. We won't. I can't let you go, he replied in a whisper. I remember the story of the sea captain's ghost when Andrew stumbled into the sea captain's room and saw the old ghost, the sea captain. He said the thing came to him. Now that you have seen me, I can never let you go. You lost your head, I blurted out. So you can't be Andrew, Stephanie cried. You have a head. In the dim light from Stephanie's candle, I could see the sneer spread over Andrew's face. And no, he said softly. No, I do not have my head. This is one that I borrowed. He raised both hands to the side of his face. Here, let me show you, he said. Then he pressed his hands against his cheeks and started to tug the head up the black turtleneck. Chapter 26. No, stop, Stephanie screeched. I shut my eyes. I didn't really want to see him pull off his head. When I opened my eyes, Andrew had lowered his hands. I gazed once again around the narrow pantry. How could we escape? How could we get out of here? Out of there? The ghost was blocking the only exit. Why would you trick us, Stephanie asked Andrew. Why bring us here? Why'd you lie to us? Andrew sighed. I told you I borrowed this head. He ran one hand through his hair, then down the other cheek, as if petting it. I borrowed it, but I have to return it. Stephanie and I stared back in silence, waiting for him to continue, waiting for him to explain. I saw you last night in the tour group, he said. Finally, his eyes locked on me. The others couldn't see me, but I made myself visible to you. Why? I asked in a trembling voice. Because of your head, he replied. I liked your head. Huh? A frightened gasp escaped my throat. He gripped the blonde hair again. I have to return this head, Dwayne, he said calmly, coldly. So I'm going to take yours. Uh-oh. Right, I'm going to go to 28 instead. This is 27 now. A frightened giggle escaped my throat. Why do people suddenly start laughing when they're terrified? I guess it's because if you don't laugh, you'll scream or explode or something. Trapped in that small dark room with a 100-year-old ghost that wanted my head. I felt like laughing, screaming, exploding all at once. I stared hard at Andrew, squinting in the dim light. You're kidding, right? He shook his head, his silvery eyes narrowed, hard and cold. I need your head, Dwayne, he said softly. He shrugged as if apologizing. I'll pull it off quickly. It won't hurt a bit. But I need it too, he sputtered. I'm only going to borrow it, Andrew said. He took a step forward. I'll return it when I find my own head. Promise. You're not cheering me up, I replied. He took another step towards us. Stephanie and I backed up a step. He took a step. We backed up a step. We didn't have much room to back up. Have much more room to back up. We were nearly to the back of the pantry shelf. Suddenly, Stephanie spoke up. Andrew, find your head, she offered. Her voice shook. I turned to her. I'd never seen her scared before. Knowing that Stephanie was scared made me even more scared. For sure, I crowed. We'll find your real head. We'll search all night. We know this house really well. I'm sure we can find it for you if you give us a chance. He stared back at us without replying. I wanted to get down on my knees and beg him to give us a chance. But I was afraid that if I got down on my knees, he'd pull it off my head. We'll find it, Andrew. I know we will, Stephanie insisted. He shook his head. His borrowed head. There's no way, he murmured sadly. How long have I been searching this house? 100 years. 100 years I've searched every hallway, every room, every closet. He took another step closer. His eyes were locked on my head. I knew he was studying it, thinking about how it was on his shoulder. Look at his shoulders. In all these years, I haven't found my head, Andrew continued. So what makes you think you can find it tonight? Well, Stephanie turned to me. Maybe we'll get lucky, I declared. Lame. How lame can you get? Sorry, Andrew murmured. I need your head, Dwayne. We're wasting time. Give us a chance, I cried. He took a step closer. He's studying my hair now, probably deciding if he should let it grow longer. Andrew, please, I begged. There was no use. His eyes were glassy now. He reached out both hands, took another step. Stephanie and I backed up. Give me your head, Dwayne, the ghost whispered. My back bumped a shelf on the wall behind me. I need your head, Dwayne. Stephanie and I held it close and pressed our backs against the wall. Ghost floated closer, hands outstretched. We pressed ourselves tighter against the shelves. My elbow bumped something hard. I heard something heavy, objects fall on the shelf. I need your head, Dwayne. He clenched and unclenched his hands. 2 more steps and he'd be close enough to grab me. Your head, give me your head. I jammed my back against the shelves. I heard a creaking sound. The shelf started to slide. I stumbled back and realized that the whole wall was sliding. What's happening? I stammered. Ghost reached it for my head. Gotcha. I'm going to stop there. So there's not much left for the last one, about this much. That'll be a shorter one, too. 128. And get one more reading out of it. But if you guys like this, give it a like, check it out, and whatnot. And thanks for checking this out, and have a good day.